It's fucking Friday. Alright, so I grew up in kind of like a rural area, like in the mountains, and there was kind of some weird kids that I went to school with, and like two stick out in my head when I think back. I'm always kind of wondering, like, what were they thinking when they did these things? Alright, so there was two kids, and I'm going to give them fake names because that seems like the right thing to do. So we got Matthew, and we got Connor. I guess we'll start with Connor. So Connor's this kid that I went to school with through like 1st grade to like 8th grade. And this kid was gross and just didn't care at all about like, I guess, social reputation. And like, I'm not doing this to be like a bully or like call these kids out. It's just weird shit that kind of sticks in my head. I don't know if it was the same for everyone, but in elementary school for me, we had kind of different periods of the day and we did different things, but we were always with the same class. So I was always in the same class with this kid Connor. In the rotation, we had a class called music class. It was one of those stupid classes where you learn to play the recorder. Didn't teach you any real life skills, but it was something to keep you busy, I think. I just remember one day like sitting there and Connor, just being the weird kid he is, I tried to get away from him. But of course he'd come around and he knew that like I wasn't a fan of him, so he would go out of his way to just sit by me. On this particular day, he sits next to me, he's kicking back, and we're all playing our recorders and shit, and I just remember turning to him and watching him go, and I'm like, no, please don't. And he shit his pants. And I get it, you know, if you have something going on or like you got an issue that like, but there's a bathroom in every class in elementary school. It was 5 feet away. All he had to do was walk right over there. And he didn't. And like immediately the aroma hit everyone in the face. And you could just see it travel down the line as kids were like, oh. We're in like 6th grade at that point. 6th grade is a little bit old to be shitting your pants. Sorry. Now you would think that's like the end of the story and that's where that one ends. But Connor didn't just stop at shitting his pants. I remember watching him and he starts wiggling this leg. And while he's doing that, I just see something go. His shit went flying across the room. And we're all sitting there in just pure horror. We're like, oh my god! That being said, we had to evacuate the room. So that was one shitty day. So the other kid, Matthew, he had a lot of memorable moments in my head too. Because this kid had like extreme anger issues from a very young age. I remember being in the 2nd grade. And I didn't really like this kid. I didn't really like Matthew. But again, for some reason, the kids that I don't like try to sit by me. And so this time we're in some other class. He's sitting next to me and we're in 2nd grade, so I'm being playful and I'm just kind of making friends where I can. And this kid raises his hand for a question. And I'm sitting next to him, I'm like, haha, this will be funny. And I start slapping his hand down. I'm like, nope. And on that like 3rd time, he lost it. And he just shoved me right out of my chair. Straight on the ground. Now, I fully admit I deserve that one. 100%. However, it didn't stop there. This kid decided, you know, that wasn't enough. He grabs his marker and he chucks it at me. Just straight. Right as he throws it, for some random reason, I ducked. And the teacher was standing right in front of me. And she just got a marker to the face like, and then he got in trouble for that. Now we'll jump forward to middle school. Matthew used to get in a lot of fights, and I think that was to like prove himself to everyone. But there was this one time, I was in ISS, not related to this. I'm sitting in the office, and I'm hanging out with the disciplinarian. We just see Matthew come running down the hall, but he only has one shoe on. So it sounds like a galloping horse. He comes running out the hallway, comes across the main section of the building, and then right past us. And I'm like, hey man, and he just keeps running right out the front doors of the school. And like I just got to sit there and watch like the whole story develop. And basically I guess what happened was Matthew got in a fight. During the fight, his big ending move was he took off his shoe and threw it at the guy. And after that, he was worried about the consequences, so he took off running out the school. But because he left the school premise, they had to call the cops. They didn't find him till like an hour or two later. He was 10 miles away, laying in a ditch. Let that run through your head real quick. He ran 10 miles on dirt roads with one shoe. I couldn't run 1 mile, even if my life depended on it. Now you take away my shoes? No shot! After we finished middle school, we went our separate ways. You'd think that you wouldn't hear any more about the people that went to a different school, but this story got around. I guess there was an assembly. During the assembly, he was messing around talking with his friends, and the principal was on stage and she called him out. "Hey Matthew, stop messing around!" And he didn't like that. He just snapped again. And he took off running towards the stage, gets on the stage in front of the whole entire school, and just clocks the principal in the face. He hit a woman who happened to be the principal too in front of the whole school. That's insane! I don't even know what I would do if I saw that. Like if I was in the audience and I was like, ah, there goes Matthew. What's he doing? He's getting on stage? Oh! I think like the one thing that both these kids, Connor and Matthew, had in common was like they didn't care what anybody thought. They just did what they wanted to do and worried about the consequences later. That's inspirational. I wish I could get to that level of confidence of just not caring and not giving a fuck. If you guys like my videos, hit the like button, subscribe, share it, turn notifications on, do something. Or not. I get it. But till next time, I'm out.